hi, I almost didn't stream today. I flip-flopped. I was like, maybe I should just do it tomorrow because I slept like crap because people across the street were having some obnoxious construction done at like 9 in the morning and I couldn't get any fucking sleep because of it. But I decided, you know what, no. It's been a little bit too long since I've done a stream on Saturday like I promised I would be doing. So yeah, here I am for a couple of hours as we slowly but surely push ourselves towards finishing Metal Sonic's poses. How am I? I'm bitterly average. But hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. Today we're doing the latter half of Metal Sonic specials, and hopefully... Actually, no. We're probably not going to be done with him today, but hopefully we'll be close to finished. So that the next session will be the end of Metal Sonic. But yes, hello, Mart, Sam's, Pikmin. I hope you're all doing well. Also, I realized today is the first day in a while where it's actually a stream that's post a video launch. As Devilman came out just a little bit over 2 weeks ago. And I skipped that week. The weekend after. Right after he came out. 48. What's my favorite fake leak in Smash history? I don't have one. I'm not really a big supporter nor enjoyer of fake leaks. The best made leak though was Rayman. Well, Paper Mario is also notably more mainstream than Super Mario RPG and G Noir. So that's not surprising. I think another reason that people really love Geno is because there really isn't any other character like him. He has a very distinct design, his abilities are also very distinct, and can't really be copied by anyone else that's even remotely popular in the speculation circles. He is the definition of a character that would absolutely bring something new to the table just because of who he is and how he actually fights. Well, yes, you've seen a lot of homogeneous Geno concepts because Geno has one game to pull from. So everybody is literally just pulling from that one resource pool. Yeah, Sakurai wanted to add Gino once, and Sakurai is also a person that loves to come back and visit old ideas. So I guess that hope for Gino basically stems from that. People arguing against are literally just wasting their time and breath. Not only will their arguments never mean anything in the long term, but if people wanting Gino isn't hurting anybody, just fucking let them want the character. Swear to God, Smash fans are so fucking obnoxious when it comes to just letting people enjoy the most basic fundamentals of anything to do with the hype cycle of a video game. No, I didn't get what I want, so I want you to be as miserable as I am. It's pretty much how I see it. just sucks because we're back at a point where I guess Smash is semi-relevant again because a more than likely fake leak was put out. About a new Smash releasing as early as next year. So we're in for, you know, some of the worst content that the Smash community is known for. We're gonna hear about hypotheticals, we're gonna hear about why my characters are more important and should be in the game over yours, we're gonna hear about rosters that cut the roster in half despite Smash Ultimate having sold almost 500,000 copies on the Switch 2 since the beginning of the year. Meaning the game is still very much relevant. And there's no reason to cut down our roster when there's already a game on your console with an enormous roster and full of characters that people want to play. But no, that would require the Smash community to have even the slightest hint of an ability to think from a business perspective instead of just with their egos. I will never get over how fucking awful the idea of a Smash reboot is. Like, it is legitimately terrible. And it's very easy to see what age demographic a lot of these people are. Because when I see posts like, where do you go from here? How do you get better than Ultimate? I look at that and I'm like, you weren't around to experience games like Melee when they first came out. You weren't around to experience games that had mostly gameplay first and had a ton of unique single player modes and a bunch of series identity that is just completely fucking lost with all the changes that Ultimate made. We can't go any further with it because of Ultimate, but yet Ultimate took so many steps backwards for the series and its identity as a whole. I think that really shows that where some people's priorities are when it comes to this series. The people that say we're not getting a new Smash literally have 30 IQ. That's all I'm going to say on the matter. You know, one of our highest selling games on the previous console. Yeah, you know what? I'm okay with it just not having another game. You know, it made us so much money. It sold 37 million copies. I think it's up to 38 now. Yeah, you know what? We don't need to add another game to that series. We don't need another potentially 38 million copies sold, because everything on the Switch 2 is selling pretty damn well. No, man, I don't need any more. I've had enough money. I don't want any more money. Said no company literally fucking ever. The gaming landscape has changed a lot since Ultimate was in development. Konami is like one of the friendliest companies to collab with. They're collabing with fucking everybody now. I don't see Capcom saying no to Street Fighter or Mega Man, considering both of those franchises are relevant right now, with Mega Man having a new game coming sometime next year and Street Fighter 6 still doing very well. The only one you gotta worry about is Square. I think if you're gonna run into any character cuts, you're gonna run into Square. And I think they'll cut out like Hero and Sephiroth and Sora in order to resell them again as DLC, because of the premium they get for licensing that shit out as DLC. God, I fucking hate Square Enix as a company. They're so fucking awful. They are so bad. But those that think that Cloud won't come back are nuts. Again, Ultimate was before the Final Fantasy VII Remake and its success. Cloud's coming back, 100%. I would not be surprised if he comes back with an English voice actor. I also don't think they're going to needlessly cut characters that they don't need to cut. I mean, you can get... I think some of the riffraff is going to be gone. I think characters like Young Link, Pichu, maybe Dr. Mario, you know, those kind of characters, the riffraff, the extras, they can more than likely be gone, and people won't be that upset about it. Especially because there's already things in the game that give you the overall playstyle of those characters. But maintaining animations between engines and stuff like that has become a notably easier process now than it was back then. And the animations for a lot of the characters in Smash Ultimate are pretty damn good. And I don't really think need to change if they decide to, you know, change engine or what have you, or just make the game faster. Like, they did a lot to polish some animations for some characters in Smash Ultimate. Like, people can say, oh, Mario feels out of date, but it's very clear they went back and made Mario, like, way more expressive in his animations in Smash Ultimate than he was in Smash 4. And since the animations are so good, now they can just keep what works and replace what doesn't. And they don't need to rebuild the character from the ground up in order to do it. Yeah, people tend to forget that a lot of cuts in Smash Brothers history mainly come from jumping engines and hardware limitations. The only character that's outside of that instance is Snake. And that's because of issues with Konami at the time of Smash 4. I never understand the people that complain about Mario's moveset. He is like one of the best designed movesets in the game. At best, they are gonna change the down special to be based on the new games. I wholeheartedly agree. People that like shove Mario in with characters like Sonic when it comes to moveset design talk, I just look at those people and say, you don't know the first thing about game design. You don't know the first thing about game design, about fighting game character design, you know nothing. You are just literally looking for Bing Bing Wahoo references because you literally don't know how to make a character. Yeah, let's not think about how the character should fight. Let's not think about the aspects of the character, the best aspects of the character, and make them work as a fighting game character. No, let's just make Mario do random references because I am a child and I need keys rattled in front of my face every 15 seconds. Honestly, I just want the next Smash game to be a game that feels like it was actually play tested. That'd be nice. Because I feel like every Smash game for the past almost 20 years now just feels like they weren't play tested enough, and there are aspects that just should never have gotten past the cutting room floor. Like, yeah, we all know tripping. We all make fun of tripping, as we rightfully should. It was objectively dogshit game design, and Sakurai deserves to be called out for it. But, the input delay on Smash Ultimate, that was something that... How did nobody say anything about this? Oh yeah, sorry, I feel like I'm playing in lag when I'm offline. How is this something that was never addressed or even remotely fixed? And keep in mind, people say that that's the pinnacle of Smash. People want another 10 years of that. There's some people out there that want another 10 years of that. And I think those people are insane. Well, you say that, Crimson, but apparently they got people to play test Smash Ultimate. They got competitive Japanese Smash players to play test it. And I honestly think that they're part of a byproduct of why some things in this game just feel fucking wrong. Like, the traction. Why is the lowest traction in Smash Ultimate higher than the highest traction in Smash 4? Banjo has the worst traction in the game at like 0.76 something. He has higher traction than Lucario did in Smash 4, who had 0.7550, number one. Every character feels like they have glue attached to their feet. For some characters, sure. But why on a character like Luigi? Why does Luigi have no identity anymore? Also, the fact that they brought back directional air dodge, but they didn't bring back wave dashing. You were so close. It doesn't matter if wave dashing isn't casual friendly because casuals don't care. Casuals are here to play with their friends, turn on items, play 8-player Smash on the biggest stages, and just have fun that way. Any additional depth that the game could offer, they don't care about, and frankly, they don't need to care about it. This being added back into the series should not ever be brought up when talking about casuals. Because as far as I'm concerned, they don't care and don't need to learn it. Sorry, but when you make a game too homogenized and you don't allow for enough expression as a player, you end up with Street Fighter V and Daigo losing to Lil Wayne. Meanwhile, pretty much every other platform fighter after Ultimate had wave dashing. Yeah, they did. It's just a shame that a lot of those games were bogged down by the ego of their creators and other design issues that weren't really looked into enough.
You're leaking tons of fluid and it looks like gas. That's why I'm wondering what your gas is. Okay. It's all coming out right where the hook meets.
Well, Street Fighter V, when finished, was regarded as a good game. It went through enough changes to be considered a decent game. But when it first came out, it was very, very different for all the wrong reasons. It also had really bad online, which is something it also shares with Smash Ultimate. Like, for the next Smash Brothers, I sincerely just hope they do half as much playtesting as they do with something like Splatoon. Like, let there be, like, actual playtests that people can join. Some could be closed, some could be open, but just let people join and play the game, voice their opinions on what feels good and what doesn't, and then let there be changes made so that, you know, you have a decent game when it comes out and it doesn't play like shit online. Like, I hate that Splatoon gets playtests and Smash doesn't. When it is such a common thing nowadays for fighting games to get playtests in order to make them a better product when they come out. Melee slop is a terminology made by children that weren't alive to experience Melee when it first came out. Or even when it was relevant. Well, it's always been relevant, but I'm talking like Prime Melee, between 01 and 07. Have I played Project M? Of course I've played Project M. And P+. And Rex. PMEX Remix, whatever you want to call it nowadays. Like, people are never going to admit, but those games are just better to play than actual Smash games. And what folks in Nintendo don't understand is that if they just made a game that played like that, then there'd be no need for a game like PM to exist. Like, it is literally a game born out of negligence on their part. Also, on the topic of PMEX Remix, while I appreciate, all these characters being added, there are some genuinely garbage-made characters. There's some garbage tier characters in that list. Like, some of those characters are just so clunky and unfinished, it is embarrassing that they were ever put in the first place. First example I can think of, their Master Chief is so fucking bad. That Master Chief design is so bad. It is just so not well thought out and clunky. Like, I tried to give it a chance, I really did, but it was just, it's It's just bad. It was so bad that it legitimately made me want to go back and remake a Master Chief moveset done right, just so that this isn't something that I have to think of when I think of a Master Chief moveset made recently. Like, go back and redo my take on Master Chief and actually make it even better than it was before. Now, you can't exactly call Zelda wasted potential, because through her we got Sheik, who is a Smash staple at this point. While the modern design of Zelda is still classic Zelda, I mean, they can make it Link Between Worlds Zelda if they wish, but it's still Ocarina of Time Zelda underneath the skin. That's the problem. They haven't really gone past it very much. Like, yeah, the Phantom's neat, but, like, there needs to be more than that. Well, yes, Sam, because quality takes effort, and most people that make movesets are hacks. That's why they'd rather just stick with references, because they are literally not creative enough to come up with something on their own. To be honest, the light arrows should just be her standard special. Well, to be honest, Pikmin, there's a lot of characters that embody that specific type of playstyle that just are some of the dumbest characters imaginable. I agree, I miss Smash 4 Link. Smash 4 Link was the best Link. He's also like the best that like regular Link has ever been in the series. Outside of bringing back old mechanics from previous Smash games, what new mechanics would you like to see? I'd like to see a rework to the parry system and make parries actually rewarding in Smash. I think that's probably the best place to start. I also want them to put some serious work into actually making the shields in Smash get to a nice spot where they're not too strong and not too weak, because it feels like for a lot of the series, the shielding is either extremely strong or legitimately useless. Like in Smash 4, it was so blatantly powerful that games had to be two stocks. Because shields were so strong and you never died. In Ultimate, they're almost borderline useless. Unless you're going for a parry. They can flesh out the Final Smash meter, but most Final Smashers are genuinely too powerful to be even remotely considered for competitive play. Then it would just encourage a more stall-based yeah, you know, even more than it is already. A more stall-based meta where you're basically just sitting around waiting to get your Final Smash to finish the person off, and then it just turns into PlayStation All-Stars. It just turns into PlayStation All-Stars at that point. No, zoners are supposed to have a quick out shield option as a get off me tool, but their point is that their quick out of shield, or you know, their defensive options are designed to be weak and not really made for killing. That's where the trade-off comes from. I don't think Smash needs supers. It just needs some consistent gameplay. Let's bring back player expression. Let's let characters do some wacky shit. You know, all this talk about Smash content, as I just make my Sonic rotate here for a second. All this talk about Smash content, I'm so glad I never went back to like watching videos. I'm so glad that I never did that. My mental health thanks me for never having done that. Especially now that we're going back essentially into Smash discussion season, I guess. Even if, you know, nothing has been officially announced. I think that aerials, like a lot of things in Smash, have been hit or miss in terms of how effective they've been throughout the series. In Ultimate, you could absolutely argue they are a little bit too strong. But I don't know. Oh, trust me, I've seen those videos and I disagree with both of them. Again, I'm so glad I never went back to reviewing videos because it would have just been awful. It would have just been terrible. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Trust me. There are some videos that a friend of mine recommended that I should review before I do any others, just to prove to myself I could actually, you know, deal with the rampant stupidity that is most Smash content. The video he recommended made me want to gouge out my eyes and my ears. Actually, more my ears than my eyes, but regardless, it was awful. What was the video? Oh, the fuck was it called? It was like a critical review of Smash Ultimate. And it was a video that just almost had a point, and then halfway through, the creator decided he wanted to literally smoke a bowl and just go off on some of the most nonsensical tangents about things that don't matter I've ever seen, and it was just a fucking awful viewing experience. I'm sure I don't need to tell you who made it. I think you can probably take a wild fucking guess. That video also sent me on a wild fucking goose chase, trying to fact check some of the shit that was brought up. And lo and behold, it was all bullshit. Yes, Pikmin. It was him. It was just, I don't even know how to fucking put it into proper words. It was, the weird thing is that it started out so normal. It started out as a video that almost had a point. It started out as a video that was talking about how the input lag feels awful, and it was building off of that. And I thought, like, okay, you know what? If this is where we're going, you know what? This sounds like it could be a potentially decent video. This sounds like there's actually some thought put behind this. But then we devolved into stuff like, oh god, yeah, Sam's, that video made me unsubscribe from him. That video you're describing made me literally unsubscribe from Mockrock and never touch his content again. That's why anytime I hear somebody try to bring up Mockrock as like a decent creator, I literally just point him towards that video and say, watch that again and tell me there's a god. Mockrock's such a fucking awful content creator. Holy shit. But yeah, the video I was talking about, it starts off okay. It starts bringing up points that a lot of people talk about when it comes to the game, being a little odd when you play it, as the 8 frames of delay can really fuck you over, regardless of whether you're playing online or offline. It feels even worse online than it does offline, but that's besides the point. It's like, okay, we're getting somewhere with this. I understand this. I can relate to this. Where does this go? I'll tell you where it fucking went. Off the fucking deep end. Because then we start talking about characters being too complicated for casual players. And his example, it's not Kazuya, it's not Ryu, not any of the fighting game characters. It brings up fucking Sephiroth. Sephiroth, a character too complicated for casuals to play because they don't understand what winged form does. This, of course, is projection, because he doesn't know what Wingform does on the fly. And because he doesn't, he immediately assumes that nobody else does. Yes, I know, Sephiroth is like a unironically extremely easy character to understand. Hit with big sword. When you get wing, you get more powerful. Do you need the exact specifics? Fuck no. Knowing the exact specifics is not going to help you. I would also like to mention that Sakurai literally explained what wing form does. You get more speed, your attacks are armored, and you get another jump. That's what matters. But trust me when I say that that's not even remotely the most batshit insane thing in that video. The video and the last point, which, you know, usually when your last point is meant to be the most important point that you discuss, his last point has nothing to do with the game. His last point revolves around the speculation community and only allowing certain characters to be speculated for. And he was talking about this like it was a global phenomenon. If you went anywhere and you talked about Smash at all, you would be hounded if you didn't want specific character. He also is a fucking curmudgeon that doesn't want people to have fun because he's making fun of people being excited for character releases. And how people only join the Smash speculation cycle because they want to see hype things happen. Motherfucker, have you ever been part of a hype cycle for literally any video game ever? Literally any video game ever. We have people complaining that if you're about what characters you want, how you support the Smash hype cycle. It was so schizo. It was so batshit insane. I felt like it was almost comedic at points. Like, this isn't supposed to be taken seriously. This isn't real. This is a joke. But it wasn't a joke. It was all very much real. And it was embarrassing. I thought it was satire. It got to a point where I almost thought it was satire, but then I remembered who was actually uploading it. And then I realized this isn't satire at all. This is real. But yeah, like, the video I think is like 40-something odd minutes. The last 15 minutes have nothing to do with Ultimate. It just devolves into complaining about people, how people enjoy the speculation cycle, And how people are like, oh, we only want to see the hypest things happen. It's like, my brother in Christ, have you ever been part of a hype cycle for any video game? Literally any video game. The moment that a fan favorite character is announced for a fighting game, people flip the fuck out. You're going to always get a bigger response from Akuma being added to a video game than you will for somebody like fucking Guile. Okay, it's 25 minutes. But yet, like, the last, like, 10 or so minutes then are just, they are insane. No, I think, like, at least, like, almost 20 minutes of it are schizo. And watching that video beforehand, I just, oh no, it's way more than half the video. You will, if you watch it, you'll understand. I don't recommend you do, because I am not somebody that recommends giving a person like that views, because frankly, he objectively does not deserve it. But if you watch it, watch with ad block. But it's also making fun of the fact, like how Eggman became super popular, a super popular request when Sephiroth got in, because people were reminded, oh yeah, you know, there are some really awesome villains that aren't in this game yet. Let's like I'd love to see Dr. Eggman. Let's like Dr. Eggman's a big deal now. Let's support him even more than we already did. It's like, yeah, that happens. You add one kind of character that people like, people are going to be like, I want more of that kind of character. Can I have more? That looks so cool. Can I have more of that, please? But yeah, like, the way he was describing it, he made it sound like there were, like, every website was just taken over by people just telling others what to support, what they can support, and what have you. I spent the better part of like 3 days searching for anything that even remotely added up to, met his claims. It was all bullshit. It was all complete and total bullshit. It was more than likely some guy in a comment section of like 7 to 8 people saying, I don't really care for that, I want something else instead. But the narcissist will blow that out of proportion and say stuff like, no, there was like hundreds of people in that chat room saying, I don't want that, and like belittling people and treating them like shit, when all they did was just say, no, I don't want it. I am beyond convinced that that's what happened. And I need to also mention that this happened around, these claims were around the time when Smash Brothers was like the whipping boy of the internet, which arguably it still is, but that's besides the point. The point is that Like, this was the time when, like, any video on Negative Light that was in Negative Light for Smash Brothers got shit tons of views because of all the stuff that was happening around that time. You know, late 2020, early 2021, you know, that period. So yeah, anything on Smash Brothers that it would paint the community in a negative light would get so much traction and so many views. And there was 0 videos on it. There were 0 videos talking about it. There was nothing. It was all horse shit. I would prefer if you did not. Please remember to follow the rules of my Discord and not constantly publish things from other people. And large images and whatnot. But yeah, I chose not to watch it on stream. I chose not to talk about it until today. I'm good. I am good. I am so good, in fact, that I never want to talk about it again. Yeah, there's a reason, but yeah. There's a good reason why I don't want to review that kind of content on my stream, because frankly, the people that need help the most will not listen. And I don't need to give those people's communities any more reason to dislike me more than they already do. Though Brawl fans community continues to try because they are objectively hilarious. They are so butthurt that I make better content than him. That they are literally like searching and scouring the internet in order to try and find something to make me look bad. What new Mario characters would you like to see in Smash? Fine, Gothita. If that's the case, just put it under self-promotion and put it in the right channel. Don't put it in any of the main channels. Put it in self-promotion where it belongs. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't know. None of the remaining Mario characters are inherently super interesting to me.
You can be the best of the best of the best.
I mean, King Boo is a good choice. Pauline's also up there. And I want her to be, you know, Mayor Pauline, not the child from Bonanza. I guess also Paper Mario is an obvious choice. Or I guess feels like it, but really hasn't gotten any sort of acknowledgement. I guess there's also Kamek. Kamek's also a choice. I see more people affirming that Kamek fits more as a Yoshi rep than a Mario rep. He is interchangeable. And as far as I'm concerned, they're the same thing. Hickman, I can confirm from firsthand experience that those people are not fun. Anything, those people are awful, and I'm so glad that they got what they deserved. Which is ridicule. I don't even want to think about how obnoxious that ultimate speculation cycle could have been, like base game speculation cycle could have been, if Ridley wasn't the first character they added. Holy hell, that would have been so bad. Granted, it would have been a lot sweeter for these people to come back out of the woodwork after 4 years, start screaming that Ridley's too big, and then have Ridley be the last character they add. But I'm glad that those rejects were removed from the speculation pool immediately. You can't call Dark Samus a no-effort Echo. It is blatantly clear that effort was put into her animations. That's why it's all the more painful that she's too similar. To be honest, Kitchen, I couldn't really tell you. I'm not exactly clamoring for it, so it's whatever to me. I'm personally more of a Black Shadow supporter simply because of the fact that I hold out hope that they'd use inspiration from the anime for his character. And I think that Black Shadow's interpretation in the anime is better than any interpretation of Deathborn. Even if they're the same character in the anime. They were, yeah. Also, on the topic of Uma Musume, I'm pretty sure that even if they were allowed, which I don't see why they wouldn't be, I don't see them being high on any sort of pecking order. Hey, listen, if Captain Falcon in Smash can feel like an anime character, then let Black Shadow literally be an anime character. And by that I mean his anime character. I also think that if Captain Falcon, like, personality and gameplay wise, is notably distinct from his actual F-Zero self, I have no issue if they do the same thing. Voice crack. I have no issue if they do the same thing with Black Shadow. As a matter of fact, it feels thematically appropriate that Black Shadow gets to be the over-the-top anime villain to Captain Falcon's Sentai hero. I mean, their designs are the same. I'm pretty sure their designs aren't really that different from one another. I hope they give him his voice from the anime. I don't know if that voice actor's still alive, but if he is, I hope that if they do add Black Shadow, that's who they get to voice him. Gotham, Ridley was leaked, like, day one of Ultimate being teased. Ridley was teased all the way back, was, like, leaked all the way back in March. From multiple people. Like, just do what they did with PMEX Remix's Black Shadow, and that's perfect.
You are leaking tons of fluid and it looks like gas. That's why I'm wondering what your guess is. Okay. It's all coming out right where the hook meets the engine. Copy. Okay, how far do I got to go? To the border. Border 60 miles. Might make it, Nick. Yeah, you will, Homer, man. Don't worry. Go.
I couldn't tell you, Pikmin. I sort of stayed away from leaks after Ridley got in. I know the Belmonts were leaked. I know K. Rool was leaked. Can and Incineroar were both leaked. Now, what time is it? Ah, damn, it's already 7? Fuck. Yeah, I know I started late, but damn. Didn't Nintendo get better at stopping leaks during the fighter passes? No, not really, because they leaked Terry Bogard themselves.
Copy. Understand that this border area is pretty clear with threats.
Hero was leaked before the game came out. The Grinch leak wasn't even that good, in my honest opinion. Though I would like to see what the original artwork actually looked like that he made up for it. You know, without it looking like it came from a camcorder in 1996. Steve was leaked, but that was around the time when Vergibin's reputation was starting to get a little shoddy. So people didn't really believe him because he talked about like an Ender Dragon boss fight or something like that. Also, I think this is going to be where I call it today. We got, let me see, how many poses done? Oh yeah, for some reason that's not working. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 poses done today in 2 hours. That's not too bad. Next time should be the end of Metal Sonic. Because I think I only have like 6 poses left to do on him. I'm not doing the final smash on stream. That's going to be something that I'm going to do on my own time. Same with the victory animations. If there's anything I should keep a surprise for the video, it should probably be the final smash, since admittedly that's where some movesets have most of their time go when it comes to designing poses. You know, I once again returned to the Shadow video. And Shadow having a total of like 149 poses. And like 40 of them are just the final smash. Because I decided, you know what, I'm going to like frame for frame redo the Super Shadow scene from Sonic X, and nobody's going to notice. Thank you for the 2 pounds kitchen, and or euro pound currency, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks where we're gonna finish Metal Sonic proper. I would certainly hope it looks good after the amount of work that went into it. So yeah, I will, I'll see you next time for hopefully a longer episode. These streams have only been like a couple of hours a piece the last couple of streams, and I hope to rectify that at some point in the future. I also need to start thinking about who's going to be the second character on this, in this series. But yeah, I will see you guys around the end of May, and that will be the point where Metal Sonic will be done. Until then, I will hopefully have another video done before then. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I'll see you later. More stuff coming soon. Thanks for watching my stuff. And if you haven't seen Demoman's video yet, go give it a watch. Okay, bye.